To state the goals for this project: lower the roof so it'll fit into the garage and be more aerodynamic, improve the fuel economy, get rid of all the extraneous stuff on the outside of it, lighten the load, I'm hoping by about 500 to 1,000 pounds. Gonna get rid of all the heating stuff, may put a furnace back in it later, but for now it's all gonna go. And be able to use this back door with a bigger door to haul my band equipment in the back, and then have a dry sleeping quarters up in the front. So here's the inside as found. This is what it looked like in the junkyard. Interior is not in great shape. The roof here has had some water damage, and this is one of the reasons why I'm cutting the roof off, because that's really no good anyway. Framing might be alright, but the sheet goods are all trashed, so no reason to try to save that. That other vent looks like it probably leaked. And then the only other bad spot of water damage is up there. This is the part where I think I'm going to end up rebuilding this whole thing from scratch. I just don't know. It's really sad to see this thing go. Ah, it's nasty. This is what that big bed was sitting on, some plywood, which is actually not important shape, but I'm not keeping it. I noticed some water damage on the end of this, which means, as normal, you can expect that the camper is wetter than I thought it was. I talked to the local locksmith, says you can have a key made for it for about 30 bucks. So I just got to get the ignition cylinder out of there. As far as the steering column goes, just guessing that there's some Phillips head screws in here, which there are. Okay. Some progress made here. I do actually have the switch out, so if I wanted to I can just spin that and turn the motor over, which of course it doesn't have a battery in it right now and I'm not prepared to do that. Alright, time for messing around is over. Rather than destroy this thing or try to drill it out and find a new one, which sounds like it would be easy, but because it's the 1 ton, it's got a different ignition. We're going to go this route. Now obviously this is pressed on here, which means I need a special tool to do it, which I don't have. So I'm going to try to use these 2 little screws and a plate of steel and see if I can get it to come off of there. And look at that, it's out. Here's a good look at the inside of what we had to do here. So the hole I drilled here might have helped me, but not really, because here's the lock cylinder. What needs to happen in this style lock cylinder is this lever needs to go that way. There's a little lip right here that it catches on right below my finger. There's obviously something mechanical it catches on. And this has to go like this for it to go out. Of course, I boogered it up pretty good drilling into it on multiple occasions. So it's really not possible to get it from drilling in the back of the column here, where I was drilling. What you have to do is drill out this little plate right here, which obviously is a hole there now, but there's a US square plate there if you saw the earlier part of the video. And then you can make this go up and take it out. For me, again, I am so not worried about anybody stealing this thing. I'm going to cut this piece off so that I never have to fight with it again, because this little pin right here is enough to hold it in. Try to attempt to start it with this switch right here, and doesn't have much gas in the tank, and my guess is it's all pretty nasty gas, but hey, it's always fun to give it a try, right? Not even a putter. Okay, so my garage opening to that point is 83 inches. Now, obviously that piece of trim could come off if I had to. The camper right now is 8 foot. However, with a reasonable amount of air in the tires and probably a little less weight in it than it's going to have, you can see it's 84. Making some serious headway on the camper. About ready to rip off the awning. One side. You might be asking yourself, why would you do this out here with a light like this? The answer is, it's almost December. This needs to get in the garage before the snow flies. Oh, beautiful. That's how it's done. Right, the next step is to get this door out. It's far too tall to fit in the garage. And rather than cut it with a Sawzall, I'd rather keep it because somebody might be able to use it, or I might be able to use it for another project. It's held in with these screws around the door. Probably use gravity to assist me. Just like that. Well, as predicted, it was rougher than I thought it was. It's just normal. The roof has been leaking pretty much the whole thing. I thought it was isolated to just around the vents, but it's pretty much everywhere up there. The silicone up there has all pretty well had it. Which means it's extremely likely there's been water in the walls. I know there is up in the front. Here in the rear there's a pocket in the back that looks pretty bad. Either way, I'm going to get this thing into the garage by ripping off the roof. And if it gets totally flimsy and starts collapsing on itself and I can't fix that, well, it might just be time to strip it down and start anew. There it goes. It's official. She's cut all the way around. Alright, what do we got in here? Nothing. Beautiful. Nice. You know what they did? This is all silicone. They must have made this a chimney for the exhaust gases coming from the refrigerator.
Oh.
Or maybe it was just a heat way, I don't know. But, in any event, everything's cut. Woo! I think she's backfiring a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
takes more nut than I want. Theoretically, the bucket's not going anywhere.